Hey gang, this is Devin Payton. So this is Milestone 8. Now remember, this is not due until after the spring break, but some of you who have some spare time and have had enough quality time with your families, you might want to jump on this if you're interested. So Milestone 8 is underlying the sec here in DevOps, DevSecOps. So I thought we would use this milestone to integrate a client and server security tool. So last milestone, you should have deployed a couple servers. So I deployed 3 Rockies, and then for testing, I did an Ubuntu. I'm going to use those VMs for purposes of this milestone. One thing that you're going to want to do, actually, two things that you might consider. So um, the application that I'm using, the server application, is called Splunk, and Splunk really demands a lot of free disk space. So I went ahead and I created a new Ubuntu-based image with a 100 gigabyte thin provision drive, and gave it like 4 CPUs and 5 gigs of RAM because I could afford that. So you're going to want to create an edit VM function, right, to your 40 utils, so you can pass it a VM, and probably needs to be powered off, or you need to turn it off during the processing of this function, and uh, pass in some parameters to change the memory and the CPU count. Um, so again, SIEMs, security event managers require more than the typical memory. So if you've had Tech 350, this is like a Waza, right? So you're going to use Ansible to install the server, right, on Blue LAN, and this is a not this is not a complete list, but here's some that you might consider. I'm going to do Splunk mainly because I used to be a Splunker. I used Splunk all the time in my previous gig before coming to Champlain College, and I really wanted to see what had changed. Graylog is another one. Some of you who have been in Sec 350 recently have used Waza. Some of you who work in LCDI might have been familiar with an elk stack, but I would encourage you to use a SIEM that you're not familiar with, so you can use this for professional development. A couple of tools I've been looking at recently. One's called Velociraptor. This is more for the digital forensics folks, where this is an open source product. I believe it's sponsored by Rapid7. You can take a look at that. It has both the server component and a client component. There's also Fleet DM, which is the server component of OS Query. So you would have Fleet DM running on a server, and then OS Query running on Linux and Windows hosts. So you can use those systems that you've created before. You can also trim some of those systems out of your environment that you're not using, or turn them off. Um, after you do this installation, so my Splunk is running under a service user called Splunk. Um, uh, you're going to want to target another box to install the SIEM agent of your choice, right? And this, I'm using the term loosely. An agent could certainly be our syslog, I suppose. But to install the SIEM agent of your choice on one of those systems such that it can communicate its events with the Splunk or SIEM server of your choice. And then you're going to want to demonstrate that events are flowing to the system. And the idea is that you do all this without mouse clicking and manual intervention. There may be some steps that you actually have to do manually. You just need to call those out. So this is the overview. So I'm going to stop here, and then I'll pick it up with demo 8.1, where I deploy Splunk Enterprise, to showing you sort of the steps. I'm not going to show you the Ansible source code, but you'll see the plays as they shoot by the screen, right? I'll also have 8.2 where I deploy the forwarder. So let's see how this works. I'll stop the video for now, and I'll pick it up with demo 8.1.